these guys would have had in the last 2 weeks us throwing open our borders and literally hundreds of thousands of people coming without any kind of security check or documentation.
And that's
some other
not true, Mr. Harper.
And that's exactly what has happened. We're on track to hit 180,000 refugees this year in Canada. And we're bringing in the worst of the worst. I pulled this data straight out of the Open Government Data Portal, where you're able to get all statistics. I don't know why people don't pull them, but there you go. And it's clear, it's absolutely clear, that from 2015, when Justin Trudeau got into power, up until now, we've got a tenfold increase in asylum claims, refugee claims. And I'm telling you right now, they're fake and they're false. From 16,000 in 2015 to 91,000 in 2022. And in 2023, we're looking at 143,000. And here we are at the tail end of 2024. And we've got about 132,000 so far, well on track to hit 180K, 180,000 asylum seekers. Think about that for a minute. 180,000, from 16,000 to 180,000. That's over a tenfold increase. And this is straight out of the government statistics. Now I'm extrapolating the last segment here, Q4. But we're already at 132,000 and we're well outpacing 2023 numbers.
But the fact is, number of gangland people, number of people with organized crime links from Punjab have been made welcome in Canada.
Minister Jay Shankar of India warns Canadians, warns Canada, and yet those warnings go unheeded as we import the worst of the worst.
We have been telling Canada, saying, look, these are wanted criminals from India. You have given them visas. They have come, many of them, in false documentation.
Mr. Puneet Sahani warns us that a Khalistani, himself sitting in India's highest parliament, confesses that for a price he issues letters with which illegal immigrants get asylum status.
ਜਿਹੜੇ ਬੰਦੇ ਮੁਸੀਬਤ ਚ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਚਿੱਠੀ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦੀ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਦਿੰਨੇ ਹਾਂ ਪਾਰਟੀ ਵੱਲੋਂ ਦੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਪੱਕੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂਦੇ ਵਿਚਾਰੇ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਕੁ ਬੰਦੇ ਇਹ ਜੇ ਪੱਕੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿੰਨੇ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਮੈਂ ਗਿਣੇ ਪਰ ਇਹ 50,000 ਤਾਂ ਹੋ ਗਏ ਹੁਣ
Khalistanis are using this to get around our immigration rules and simply setting up shop in your own backyard. Just today, Ujjal Dosanjh, who's been fighting these extremists, Khalistani, for years and years, I think it's about 40 plus years, sat down with Prime Minister Harper to talk about these Khalistani extremists. And he asks the very simple question, what happened to Canada? Well, Prime Minister Harper said, very simply, we must stop cultivating jihadists, anti-Semites, Khalistanis, Tamil Tigers, and other divisive groups. When it comes to our immigration system, we're going to have to ask ourselves some hard questions about how we screen people. Let's do a little bit of a history lesson. Let's go right back to 2015 and see Harper and Mr. Trudeau duel it out. Let's see what they got to say about refugees.
That in the case of refugees, Canada is not doing enough. And this is something that Mr. Harper has unfortunately done a number of times. I mean, he likes to talk about standing up against tyrants and dictators and against terrorists, but you know who stand up against dictators and terrorists? Families fighting to keep their family together, hoping for a better life for them, and they cross the oceans.
Wait a second here. We're at a place now where we've literally imported, right? So this is 2025, we're 9 years later. And this guy's telling us his answer was family reunification.
And they make it to Canada, and what does Mr. Harper do? He takes away their health care.
I want to take all their health care. I want to get them out of here.
The fact is, we need to once again be a country that is open and welcoming. Yes, we need to be concerned about security.
Yeah, I think we should. And that has been a colossal failure, 100% a colossal failure.
Concerned about security, but we don't take that as the excuse to close our doors.
Actually, we do close our doors, and it's not an excuse, Trudeau. That is not an excuse. Closing our doors to people who espouse violence, using violence as a tool for political change, that is not an excuse to close our doors. That is actually what you need to do. I close my door here outside of my house so lunatics don't just walk in.
In years past, whether it was Joe Clark, a conservative prime minister who brought in tens of thousands of Vietnamese boat people, whether it was other governments who welcomed in people who built, who contributed to this country, we need to once again be the open, generous country, not naive, making sure we're doing security right, but
yeah, well, we haven't. You know, forget the boat people. That's a great line, though, eh? The Vietnamese boat people fleeing communism. Look, we have been naive as a country. We have been incompetent as a country. Our leadership is incompetent, while other countries warn us every day that we're screwing up, that we're bringing in their criminal trash. The UAE foreign minister in 2017 warning Europe, warning them, hey, guys, you are bringing in Islamicists like these radical Muslims, not regular Muslims. They're great people, but bringing in radicals of all stripes. Right now, we've got a whole lot of an infestation of Khalistanis who openly talk about using violence to enact political change. Now, what happens? I'm going to ask you a question. What happens when these Khalistanis aren't coddled by a Trudeau government? They're not given everything for free. Do you think they're just going to leave? What are they going to do exactly? That's my question for you. They don't get their way. What do you think?